Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in the Halo Infinite campaign, going for the Bring Shiela Home Safely achievement. This one's going to be done on the 13th mission, The Road. It is to do this mission while keeping your Scorpion tank intact. So which one you just want to make sure you start it up? You're going to start out at this little depot right here. Make sure you clear out all of the enemies, and as soon as you do, you're going to have access to this smattering of vehicles. The most notable one is going to be the Scorpion tank, which is going to be what this achievement is going to be all about. So you are supposed to make it to the end of this mission while trying to keep it intact. So the trick to this is to obviously not use it, and that way it's not going to take any damage at all. So just make sure you leave it behind for now, and what you can do is you can take any one of the other vehicles. So just hop in it, and then just make sure you leave, and then make sure you take another vehicle of your choice. You're going to have some other pretty useful vehicles here, including a rocket hog, as well as a chopper and a wraith. So make sure you take your pick, or if you don't like the driving mechanics in Halo, you can of course also go on foot. So just make sure you do whatever, and then your goal is to basically beat this mission without taking advantage of the tank. Now, if you want to use the tank, you can also do that, but you have to make sure you try your best to keep it safe by keeping it as far back and picking your shots from far away. If not, you can always just do the classic beat this whole thing on foot. You can do this on easy and with any of the skulls or with the Scorpion gun if you have that available to you. So just make sure you just blow through all the enemies. So just get through this first area. You know you have cleared all the enemies once you reach this gate right here. So make sure you try your best to take everyone. Make sure you don't leave any stragglers because a stray rocket launcher can mess up the tank pretty badly. So do your best to take out every single person. You are going to have your Marines who can help you out slightly, but again, just make sure you take advantage of whatever settings you have, and then just make sure you take out the last person. And then once the coast is clear, you are going to want to backtrack back to the beginning. I recommend looking for an enemy ghost or chopper that's nearby, and then just hopping on that, and then just boosting your way all the way back to the start where the tank is. So just make sure you try to find a vehicle to steal, and if you can't find one, you are going to have to go back on foot, which isn't going to be too bad since all of the enemies are dead, and if there are any stragglers, you can pick them off. But anyways, you're going to head back to where the tank is, and then we're going to move it up. So just hop into the tank and make sure you drive it all the way over to the gate. So just make sure you do that. And then once we get over to the gate, we're going to park it, and then we're going to proceed forward. Make sure you park the tank on this side of the gate, and then you're going to use your grapple hook in order to get over. So make sure you grapple shot on either side of the gate, and you're going to need to get to the other side in order to get it open. So make sure you make your way over there. There's going to be a little side garage right here. There are going to be some enemies that drop in, so make sure you take care of them. Again, it really helps out to play on easy with the exploits, either the skulls or the Scorpion gun. Make your way inside and then clear the garage, and then you're going to hit up the control panel to get the gate open, and that should allow you to proceed further. Now, instead of heading back to the tank right away, you are going to have to start the second wave. So make sure you just turn around and then make sure you get to fighting. This one's going to have way more tougher enemies, so make sure you take care of the wraiths and stuff. Definitely take care of the first one before it accidentally hits your tank, and then just proceed forward and clear the area as you normally would. Again, it's going to be very helpful if you were doing this on easy and with your super OP exploits. So nonetheless, just make sure you make your way to the end, and then once you blow up your last enemy, you're going to have to move the tank back up. So slowly make your way back to the Scorpion. Hopefully you did a pretty good job of clearing all of the stragglers, and hopefully you have a vehicle that's still intact so you can drive back instead of walking back. But once you make your way back to the Scorpion, just move it up one more time, and we're going to move it through this war zone all the way to the last barrier. Once you get to the gate, it should automatically open. There is no switch that you need to turn, thankfully. And then once you get to the other side, what you need to do is you need to make sure you lower the bridge. So hop out of the tank. There is going to be a turret right here. However, there's not going to be any enemies this side of this particular gate. So no need to take your time on this one. Just make your way over to that switch and make sure you switch it to turn the bridge. And then once the bridge is down, you're going to want to drive the tank What's going to count for the achievement is driving the tank past the bridge into the little garage right before the door that you would take to get to the next level, which is going to be the House of Reckoning. So make sure you do so, and then just make sure you leave the tank parked until the achievement actually unlocks. It might take a little while, so just make sure you just kind of wait there until you are sure that you have it. But hopefully, if you manage to make it without the tank blowing up and intact, you should be good for the achievement. The tank can have damage on it. As long as it's drivable, it should count as it not being blown up. But since we didn't use the tank at all for this, we should have it at 100% shape. So it should be super pristine. And then we're going to make our way into the last garage, and our achievement should unlock shortly thereafter. So get your checkpoints. Make sure you wait around until you are sure that you are good for it. And once it pops, it should be for 10 gamer score. And that's all there is to it.